All right. Let's go. What is up? And welcome back to the Daily Traders Podcast. This is episode number 23. Yeah. Wow, we're moving along. All right. I'm your host, Mark. This is my co-host, Jack.
What's up, guys?
And today we have a very special guest, Nick from Bull Trade Finder, 24-year-old independent trader and entrepreneur. It's good to have you, Nick. Welcome.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So let's hop right into it. Let's talk about your story, a little bit of background, your life background, how you got into trading, and then later on we'll dive into some of your strategies. And again, we like these episodes to be, educational, but we like to have some fun too. So we'll share some cool stories. All right. This is a quick disclaimer. We are not financial advisors. We cannot give any financial advice. The full disclaimers is in the description below. Nothing said in this podcast should be taken as financial advice. All right. Thank you for watching and on with the episode.
So I started trading when I was like 17, basically going into my senior year of high school. And really the only reason I got, started into trading is actually my next door neighbor was kind of in the finance world. I also saw some things on, obviously social media, kind of got me hooked in. And I always wanted to be, that kind of entrepreneur type of person, I guess you could say.
Sure. Yep.
So dove into that, definitely got my, ass kicked in the beginning. Let's just put it that way.
Did you blow up any accounts?
Yeah, well, if you want to say a blow up is really 3,000 to like 800, then yes, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Going forward, I definitely blew up accounts. So, with that 3,000 to 800, I actually had like a lucky streak in the beginning, in my senior year from 800 to 52,000 in 3 months.
Dang.
But
$800.
Yeah.
To $52,000.
Yeah. This was all penny stock. So everything, not on OTC, everything on like the NASDAQ, NYSE, like from 25 cents to like $5.
Dang.
Really?
That's impressive.
Okay. So what happened after that? That's insane.
Yeah. That's where the blow-ups happen. So
yeah,
the luck streak ends, 52,000 comes down all the way to 10,000. So in terms, I'm still up.
Yeah.
But, blew it away.
Even 800 to 10,000 is very, over 1,000% return. That's wildly impressive. Especially in 3 months.
No, when it happened, it was crazy. It was crazy.
So how did you move beyond that? So you're at 10,000 now. Continue.
Yeah. So, at that time,
he got some dogs.
Oh, wait, 1 second.
Wow, that's insane.
That's crazy.
52,000.
Yeah, geez.
Like
senior in high school.
And like I've heard people do that over like the course of like, a year or two, but doing that in 3 months is insane.
Very impressive. So, all right. Okay, you switched locations because your dogs were a little loud. You're now outside. Let's continue on. So you started, let's see, you had $10,000. Okay. How did you mentally get back? I'm, assuming you worked your way back up to that 50K.
Yeah. So, basically, at that time, trading penny stocks, it was at that time 2-day settlement.
Mm-hmm.
And even, 1-day settlement, you want to get back to that $25,000 level to, be able to day trade. At the time, I was doing penny stocks, no option. So It wasn't the cash account. And then next day you could trade again. So that was the biggest thing in the back of my head. Again, this is where I wish I was smarter back then. I should really say, I basically went all in, like every play to try to get back there.
Yeah.
Revenge trade.
Yeah. And again, it worked because just luck. I had no clue what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, seriously, 100% honest with you. No clue what I was doing, but it worked. I then doubled from the 50,000. So 10,000 to 100,000 now. It was like 106,000.
Dang.
Yeah. And then again, did it all over again. Went from 106,000, but this time I stopped myself. I got to 30,000. And this is nothing to be happy
that's
about.
Still fat loss. Yeah.
Drained it right back down.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing to be happy about. you're still in profit, but still you're giving up way too much and way too short of a time. And I mean, these swings, happened at this point now, 2 to 4 weeks time. So, I mean, yeah, again,
Dang.
yeah, crazy moves because I
No
was
way.
I was doing stupid stuff, going all in. Um, because I see, you see all over FinTwit now, especially back then too. You see people making $1 million a day. You want to be able to do that, and especially at a young age. You're just like, yeah, screw it. What do I have to lose?
Sure, exactly.
Yeah.
And you try it, and it gets you.
100%. Yeah, no.
So how did you finally, like, when did you realize, all right, like, I actually have to learn how to trade? Like, this gambling thing, it's not going to get me anywhere. I'm eventually probably going to just drain my entire account and be
Yeah.
back to nothing.
So realistically, I probably truly found my way of trading in college. So
Okay.
I would really say like my sophomore year. So at this time I'm 19, 20. And I did the same thing over and over. I would go from 30,000 to 200, then 200 to 50, like stuff like that.
Oh my God.
Skipping that, part of it.
Jeez.
Finding my way to trade was really being like, wow, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
I'm still in the green, but you know, it takes a toll on you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, those swings are intense.
Exactly.
Yeah. So kind of just dove in, saw what was working, like why I was winning trades and why I was losing trades. Started to take a more subtle approach than the aggressive approach.
Yeah.
So instead of going all in, I'm doing 20% or 10%,
Okay.
more reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And then, from there, it just got a little bit easier with that. So, everything I preach now is consistent sizing, taking profits, letting runners ride. And the biggest thing that people need to understand is you have to take losses sometime. Losses happen every day, or, maybe not every day, but losses happen,
Mhm.
all the time.
Yeah.
You're not going to win every trade. It's a guaranteed fact. If you think you are, you're in a way, really, you're not going to succeed in, trading. People hold things to 100% loss. And sadly, I've seen it. It's actually something I never done. I would always sell way too early. So, I would sell when, it's just down pennies at the time.
Mhm.
And then to watch it, explode up and be mad to watch that move.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
But yeah, preaching, consistent sizing, being able to find a strategy to, for example, now let me just do a quick example, options wise, if I have 5 contracts, I'm trimming 2 or 3 at a certain, profit target, and then letting the other 2 to 3 ride, with a rising stop.
Okay.
That's basically how I do it now. But yeah, I mean,
Are you mainly swing trading, day trading? Let's talk about your strategy right now.
that was my
yeah, no, that's
question.
fine. I'm 99% a day trader. I like to be in and out. It's just always how I liked it.
Okay.
With that said, I do some swing trades. But everything for me now is price action, news events,
Okay.
and like FOMC and CPI, which is coming on Thursday. Price action, news events, and candlesticks. There's something that I think is very overlooked. That you could trade almost, anytime.
Interesting. Do you want to talk about your basic theories behind price action, maybe your favorite setups?
Yeah. So, and I'm gonna kind of intertwine it with the candles and
100%.
everything else. So, if I'm seeing like, and my most favorite pattern is a morning doji star or an evening doji star. They usually provide larger moves on the reversal. So mostly every trade I do is a reversal. When I used to do breakouts, and I still do them, don't get me wrong. But when I used to strongly focus on breakout trading and, breakdown trading, there's a lot of fake outs. That's what I experienced. And with those fake outs, you'll get in under or over the level that you wanted to enter. and then, to see it go right back under or over that level and you possibly get stopped out.
Yeah.
Um, with the reversal trading, I felt like it's been, a lot stronger conviction, a lot more success, a lot more straightforward. And the trades have really worked out, more in my favor. So with the price action candles, and the reversals, I'm looking for certain type of candle, spots. If I see, and I'm usually looking for a larger or a medium, size uptrend or downtrend before I do the reversal. So for example, this morning there was a little morning Doji Star reversal candle, and that actually led us up to the rest of the day right now where we are currently. So I think it's like, and I trade futures a lot too now. So from SPY, it's up $2 or $3 from where we are currently, and futures it's up like $40 to $50. So definitely a large move there, to be had if you got in at that level.
Okay, interesting. So you're 24, you're trading pretty big size. I think a lot of people are probably curious, like, how much are you trading and what are you size? Like, what is your count and what percent of that are you sizing on a position? Also, are you adjusting that position size based on your conviction of a trade?
Yeah, so right now, currently, actually, I took out all my money. What I mean by that is I'm literally trading a 5,000 account, actually 2 5,000 accounts. So I started them both at 2,000. And, basically they're proven accounts. I want to show people, and I've done this before, I want to show people that it is possible to start at a lower amount. Where many people, including myself, where I started, that you're able to succeed.
I like that.
Of course, sorry.
No, I like that. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, and I've done 3 of them so far. They've all been successful. And a lot of people think you have to have, millions of dollars to make it in this world. And yeah, not in the world, in trading.
Okay.
It's much easier to use that amount and, work around it. But you can still start at 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 and be able to grow to a larger, level. So right now, I'm basically trading with 10,000. One account is spreads, one account is options. And then I also have like $1,000 account in futures to kind of, show them that it's possible there.
So what's your goal with these accounts? Like, what are you trying to scale them up to? And how are you going about like sizing these positions?
Yeah. So these are basically going to be my main accounts going forward.
Okay.
I'm going to grow them and just continue to trade them. That money that I took out before, basically putting into real estate, putting into my other businesses, using them to grow now.
Okay.
Basically, like I threw that money out, and I'm basically starting fresh like everyone else.
Wow. Okay.
So cool. That's my goal with them, and to obviously, prove that you can make it. So sizing depends on so I mostly trade with options, SPY and SPX. So I do just about 20% because, at these levels of, at 5,000, let's say I could get 4 or 5 contracts, and that's good enough for me. Sometimes I'm getting in 3 contracts. I want to have enough that I'm able to do that, trim and, raise,
like size out.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. So what was like the peak of like your account? Like when were you, so it seems like you've obviously made this money trading. Now you're putting it into other businesses. We can talk about like the other things you're working on. Yep. What did you hit like a peak on your account that you could share that you're like, that was like, when you're like, all right, I'm going to take this out and put it into other things and do it again.
Yeah. So actually on my last challenge account, it was the spread account actually of it. That started at 2,000 it was the end of 2020. So going into 2022. Oh, sorry, 2021. This is the craziest one. So that 2,000 turned into 732,000 before I pulled it out.
No way.
Wow.
And literally it's crazy. In like 9 months, 10 months.
Wow.
But I was going, so with the spreads account, The way I do it, and we go about this, further if you really wanted to add it in.
Yeah, I'm curious what your
Um,
strategy is with the spreads. You want to get
yeah,
into
so
that?
I do credit spreads. I focus only on SPY.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing same day, so only Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I'm looking for, if you're, easiest thing that I tell people to use is Robinhood for spreads,
Mm-hmm.
Really?
just
Okay.
because it's so simple and it
Yeah,
kind of explains it a
That's
little
true.
I
easier.
used to trade spreads in Robinhood.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of explains it a little easier. Also, it's just so quick to get in and out with the spreads
Mm-hmm.
compared to other brokers. Like I used to do it on E-Trade and Weeple, and it's so much easier and quicker on Robinhood. So
Okay.
I'm looking for, and this also depends on the chart, the trend, and what we're doing that day. So again, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, um, I look for credit spread. So credit spread, for example, what are we at currently? Hold on, let me see. We are at on SPY 384. So trend today is up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it looks like we're going to break out. I mean, currently, sorry that I'm looking away, but currently it looks like we may be flagging for a larger move to the upside going into the end of the day. So with that 384, let's see. Again, sorry for looking away. I'm
You're
just trying
good.
to
You're
see
good.
a good example. So we've had good supports today at 382 and about 382.50. So I'd look for today on a 381 and 380 spread. So I'd sell a 381 put and buy a 380 put. So in terms, when you're selling the higher contract, you're looking for it to stay above that price.
Yeah.
So if I was to do it the opposite way, let's say I think the market's going to go down. So we're at 384 right now. Let's just say, for example, I'm selling a 386 call and buying a 387 call. That means I would think the market would stay under 386 by the end of the day.
Okay.
And that's basically, I only preferably do credit spreads. I have done some debit spreads with it,
Mm-hmm.
but I mainly stuck with credit spreads during that run. So again, we're at 384 right now. And a good example is I would sell a 381 put and buy a 380 put. And now with this strategy at the beginning, until I got about to 25,000, I would basically go 75% of my account. Now, the reason why I did that is because the success rate of this strategy and the way I was playing it was about 93 to 94%. And if I was to lose a play, you usually lose 1 to 2 plays prior's profits. So,
Okay.
let's say I make 300, I may lose 500 on the loser,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm making that trade back in the next two.
Okay.
And I tracked it when I was doing it. I have to find the document again. But I basically had, I think it was a 94.2% success rate throughout that
That's insane.
year.
Wow.
And that's what I'm trying to do again now
Wow.
with the spread account that I'm at right now.
Well, I think a lot of the thing that people don't get when you're trading spreads, you're more betting on where the market is not going to go versus where it is going to go. So you're widening your range for success
Yeah.
in terms of like how likely it is. So that's why, people might hear, oh, shoot, 92% success rate. That's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, that is insane. Like 92%, that's wildly
Very
like,
impressive.
yeah, like that's crazy. So
Yeah. And
good
when
on
you're
you.
looking at Robinhood, and that's why I think it's also easier, it kind of tells you the chance of profit when you're doing that specific trade.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
I've
usually
seen
all of
that.
them say like 88 to 90%.
Mhm.
But yeah, things that, and I've noticed like a lot of people don't know about spreads. They think the profit is smaller, which in terms it kind of is. You're with spreads, you're betting on theta. You are, wanting the contract to go to zero, and that's how you win in spreads.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And you have to put, let's just say you have to put $1,000, in margin, I guess you could say, to make possibly, 100 or 200. And people think, well, why can't I just, put 1,000 in just regular calls, and make possibly 1,000,
Mhm.
and it's true, there is, ups and downs or different, I guess risk managements to it.
Yeah.
But, I basically call spreads my second income, and I've said that for months on months on months, especially after that last account.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
sure. So when did you cash that account out? Did you like end up peaking at what is it? What was it? 740 something thousand?
yeah, 732.
732,000. That's
Yeah,
insane.
I cashed that out in March. So I actually bought 8 rental properties in, so I cashed it out then.
And you have, so let's get into the real estate. You have how many rental properties right now?
So 13 properties and 33 units in total.
Okay, dang.
It's pretty sweet.
That's really sweet. Yeah. So you made that capital. You didn't get an investor. You were your own investor because you made enough trading to do so.
Yeah.
And that's also like a really good like proof to people. I mean, I'm sure there's people out there that, will hear you say stuff and be like, oh no, he's just making that up. But then, you could prove it to them like, hey, I have these 13 properties, I'm 24. This is how I did it. And now that you're actually, running this again and you have 2 accounts going, and I'm sure you'll, I don't know how long it'll take, but I'm sure you'll build those accounts back up. It's super cool. So are you posting those updates on your Twitter with the account, like following, tracking it? Okay.
Yeah, I actually haven't in the past week. I was away on vacation, but yes, I usually do, and I especially post it every day in my own community.
Okay, cool.
That is cool.
You want to talk about real estate a bit?
Yeah, before we get into real estate, I wanted to talk about how why you choose. I mean, I get the whole point of like wanting to prove to people that they can take a small account and make substantial gains, but I'm curious why you don't keep one large account, because obviously you're not going to make 70,000%, 100,000% on a $100 million account, right? That would be
No,
insane.
100%. No.
But in terms of like actual dollar amounts, you're going to get a higher payout.
Mm-hmm.
So how come you decide to keep growing instead of just working with $1 million account and then making I mean, even if you made 1,000% on $1 million account, that's freaking insane.
Yeah.
So like, why are you choosing to grow these super small accounts instead of just using proper risk management and applying the same strategies to a larger account?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. And again, it kind of forms around what I'm doing, in other ways to build extra incomes. So another reason why I did it too at certain times is because I am ramping up to buy more real estate, or I am currently adding value to the real estate I have, as well as, trying to acquire more businesses and add to my own businesses.
Nice.
So, that's another reason why I do it. But yeah, no, I totally agree. And this is like the first time I would really say that I basically, have started from that low point. When I did the other challenge accounts, I actually had, accounts with 50 to 100,000 in it to also trade along with it. But this time I am, basically starting clean and clear at that 2,000 mark, and currently at 5,000, basically roughly for each.
Okay.
That's cool. Yeah, that's wild. Oh yeah, so
Let's talk about real estate.
Yeah, let's get into real estate.
Yeah.
So when did you start getting into real estate?
So I was actually interning at it's like a financial marketing firm. What they do is it was basically cold calling, and they tried to move financial advisors to other firms where they have deals with.
Yep.
And someone that worked there, so I worked there for about 3 years.
Right out of
through
college.
Yeah.
Oh, through college. Okay.
It was an internship I found at like one of the internship career fairs.
Yeah.
And one of the guys that I worked there, he was also 26, 27. He was from Pennsylvania. And me and him basically, well, actually he owned real estate. I did not, but I wanted to.
Yeah.
I just know I had friends and family that own real estate, and I obviously saw what it could do.
Sure.
And I saw online, you see everything, what real estate could really generate in wealth, with the asset and the cash flow perspective of it. And he showed me this area, and he was actually looking to buy more properties. At the time, I had funds due to trading.
Yeah.
And
how old were you?
At that time, 2021.
Okay.
So it was like 3 or 4 years ago. That's when I first started. And we acquired this one property because he needed some funds. I also wanted a mentor in a way. to kind of get into my first deal without, jumping in and possibly losing what I have. And we got into that deal. And that's basically how I started. We got into that deal. And from there, I basically just started doing it on my own. I kind of learned from what I had from that deal. I actually stuck in that area. And, basically I've grown a portfolio there. And, you want to find a real estate manager, a property manager, a loan officer or a mortgage broker, I should say.
Yep.
And just build a team that is going to be helpful for you and good for your properties. And, good for your growth, obviously. And that's what I kind of developed in that area and around that area. And that's how I got started.
Okay. You want to talk about some numbers? What these properties are cash flowing, how much you borrowed or put in, like just run us through a little bit. I think it's interesting.
Yeah. So other than that first deal, we did an owner financing. Going forward, so my next two deals, I did cash. And the only reason I did cash is because at the time I didn't know if I would get a mortgage. Because, I didn't really, I had credit cards, I was building credit, but I didn't know if that would, be an issue. I also didn't know, because I was still in college in a way. I didn't know if they would really lend to me because income wise, I had trading income.
Yeah.
I had small job income, W-9 income, but trading income doesn't really account to what the bank wants because it could change, year after year.
Income.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I did cash on those two. I kept them cash. I didn't refinance. Only reason I did that is because I already own them, basically free.
Sure.
And with those, so the property values of these houses are very low. They're literally like 40 to 50,000.
Okay.
And as crazy as it sounds, I mean, these things generate money. So average rent in this area is like 600 to 700 a unit now.
Okay.
At the time when I first started, it was like 450, 475. And I actually have some units that are up to like 800 and 900. But so going off those two, one was a 4-unit at 45,000. And all I really had to do was very small, minor, upgrades and repairs. And other than that, I actually had to put a roof on it. So that was the largest repair. And actually the second house too, I had to do a roof and the same thing, small, minor, repairs, make everything nice and clean. So now those I have cash free.
Okay.
And all I had to pay was taxes, insurance, utilities.
And what are they cash flowing, those two?
Yeah, maybe one or two units. So the cash flow on the 4-unit, which I bought for 45,000, generated gross rent revenue was 2,200 a month.
Okay.
No way. That's insane.
Dang.
Cash flow on that was just about like 1,300.
Okay.
1,400. So, I'm making good money on it. And you got to think of the house price, 45,000, and you're making 1,300 or 1,400 on it.
Yeah.
That's great money. And the other one was actually a 3-unit. And that one I bought just about the same price, 42,000, I think it was. And that is right now it's 650. It's 1,900 being rented out.
Dang.
So,
okay.
And off the top of my head, I believe the cash flow is about 1,200 too. So same thing, about 700 in expenses, let's say. So off those, I'm generating just about 2,600, 2,500, let's say, simple math. So $80,000 I'm making, or I should say $90,000, adding them up. I'm making 2,500. That's good return.
Yeah.
Yeah, good return.
I mean,
passively too.
I'm definitely not mad about it. And being able to grow, different incomes is what is going to make you successful in life. Is what's going to make you financially free, and you're going to be able to do whatever you really want.
Hey, we got to mention the sponsor of this episode.
Oh yeah.
This episode is sponsored by thedailytraders.com. All right. Woo. if you want to learn how to trade, I don't know if you know, I post all my trades. So like I'll say when I'm entering a trade and then when I'm exiting. So there's no like 100% transparent. And then I'm either making money or losing money. Last 4 trades have been pretty good, like 30 to 40% gainers. Anyway, I'll put the first link in the description if you guys want to join with the discount code. So what else are you doing besides real estate, trading? You have what did you
Garbage
mention earlier?
disposal company. Is that what you said? Yeah. How'd you get into that?
Yeah, so me and my friend, we started this 2 years ago, or just about a year and a half ago, actually. It's garbage removal. So, think about 1-800 got junk. You know them, obviously.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, so basically going to someone's house, people call you, they want a couch removed, they want things removed. That's basically what we do. We started that up. Initially we started it up to make profit, to buy more houses, and possibly start a restaurant, in the coming years.
That'd be cool.
Okay.
Now I don't know if we're doing the restaurant, but we're definitely using it for funding for rental properties, and the company has really grown financially. We're really happy about that. At first, it took some time, but now we're getting calls every day. We
Who's
really
running
have
that?
a good schedule.
Who's running that? You're managing it, going like doing the dump runs, or do you have employees?
So we actually right now we're basically doing it ourselves.
Okay.
We haven't really gone employer route. If we do, it's usually just friends that want to do some extra work.
Sure.
At the time, if we need people for larger jobs in a way.
Okay.
And we're really growing, pretty well. We got like 75-star reviews, so that's good. We're basically becoming pretty good in our area that we're in, currently in Westchester.
Sure. So why have these 3 different sources of income?
Because it's like, obviously, you're making way more, $700,000. I don't know how much you're making right now trading a year versus, the junk business that isn't bringing, working yourself, doing it. It's not that huge. It's like, why are you, it seems like you're spreading. I mean, it's crazy how much you have going on between the real estate, the trading, the junk business, right? So why are you not choosing just to like focus on one thing, trading, opposed to kind of starting all these? Because I get the like financial freedom thing, but it seems like if one thing's making so much more money, is your plan to scale all these other companies?
Yeah, no, and that's a good question too, because so with the junk removal company, we're obviously looking to, basically have other people run it, sooner rather than later. That's the goal with that. And, it's grown pretty large that we're getting to the point where we're thinking about starting to look for, that type of help. Trading wise, I could do it anywhere. I mean, I did it on vacation last week. I could do it, while in the truck or, right before a job. So, trading wise, I could do anywhere. So that's fine. Junk removal, obviously, you need to be in the area, you need to be doing it. But we're looking to scale that. Real estate wise, nothing I really worry about because it's not like I look at the properties, every day. That's just something that scales on its own. And, being able to find deals and stuff like that is just fun for me.
Okay.
I love, diving into new deals. I love, seeing renovations happening from where it was into where it is now.
100%.
It makes me feel good. It makes me feel good that I'm also helping, or at least providing a home for other people. Yeah, there is obviously a money aspect to it, but it's a feel good, for me, or that's how I feel, at least personally. I know some people, they just do it for the money. And listen, real estate is something that will make you rich. It really will. But it's a great feeling. And like I said, yeah, trading, I could do it anywhere. I mean, I could be at lunch and I'm trading. Be on vacation and I'm trading. So
where do you go on vacation?
I went to Florida last week.
Nice. Where in Florida?
So near Lighthouse Point, Fort Lauderdale.
Okay, cool. I was just down there in like the Fort Lauderdale, Miami, and then Orlando area. Because I went to college
I have some
down in
friends
Florida.
there. So
cool, man. Well,
Nice.
okay. So I saw this tweet you put out, and so you have this strategy, and the past 20 times it's been tested, it's been correct. Do you want to go over your FOMC strategy? It's pretty interesting.
Yeah. So, the FOMC strategy is very good. It's not a strategy that I made. I don't think anyone could really call it their own strategy.
Yeah.
It's just something that you could literally just go look back at previous, FOMC meetings and, see a sort of pattern and use it to your advantage.
Mhm.
So with that being said, the simplest way, you could put this strategy into use is at 2 p.m. Eastern, for me, Eastern, that's when the FOMC minutes come out or the FOMC data comes out.
Mhm.
We hear if interest rates are going up, interest rates are going down, or if interest rates are staying the same. And you get a initial reaction off that in the market, in terms, let's just say SPY, you're getting initial reaction on SPY. Let's just say it went, well, let's use the recent data from last week.
Okay.
So interest rates went up 0.75 basis points. And initially the stock SPY S&P 500 went up at 2 p.m.
Okay. So for people who are beginners or not super involved in micro or macroeconomics, when interest rates are hiked, they go up. That is bad for the stock market as companies, especially tech companies, aren't able to use leverage, and it's bad for business. So interest rates up normally correlates to a down move. So that's why the up. Just had to kind of clarify that for people who
No,
might not fully
100%.
understand.
No, that's great. And at 2:30, so when Jerome Powell starts to speak, the Fed, you usually start to see a different move.
Mhm.
So 2 p.m. is like the fake initial reaction, and 2:30 starts to become the real and opposite reaction.
Yeah.
And if you kind of go back, and it's been so when I started really tracking it and trading it, it's been 20 times. It's been 100% accuracy since then. Let's just say 228 to 233. Time wise, I'm talking about. Sorry. That's when that move starts. That
Okay.
opposite reaction starts.
So it's either a pullback or like I remember watching it last week and it pushed, and then topped out and then just sold off like
Yeah.
completely back down.
Exactly what happened.
How
at
did you
2
find the
p.m.
top though? Like on that move?
Yeah, that's a good point. The 2 p.m. we ripped, 2:30 we fell. So, finding you're not, and I guess the easiest way to put it is you're not going to get the top or the bottom on every move.
Mhm.
It's just not going to happen. You're not going to get the top or bottom on a tenth of the moves.
Mhm.
Not even that.
Yeah, true. No, it's really true. So, that's where I kind of use my strategy and, try to see where I'm starting to see a weakness or strength, depending on, where we are, if we went up in the beginning or down in the beginning.
Sure.
And at one point we had like a shooting star,
Mhm.
just about 2:30. And it didn't actually really start the move this time until about 2:35, 2:36, I noticed.
Yeah.
And then we had a big like 30 or 40 point candle on SPX. In SPY terms, that's like $3 to $4. So large move there. Basically a 1% move to the downside.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like watching this
Yeah.
all go down.
Yeah.
And then right after that, we had basically like a 50% retracement of that candle. So $1.50 or 15 to 16 point move on SPX. And then we continued that down move, basically the rest of the day. I think we went down like 100 points after that spike. So you had a possibility of like 3% move on Wednesday contracts too. So for SPY or SPX, I saw people make like 1,400%, and that's what this strategy could possibly do.
Yeah. Some people
Every
got
time
killed
I
though.
traded.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Like
Oh, no,
getting
it's-
caught on the wrong side of that move or being stuck long when when that thing pulled back. I mean,
So did you end up trading FOMC?
Yeah. So here's the funny part. This is the first time I lost since doing it. And it's
Really?
because I actually, it's because I jumped in on that larger first move. I jumped in and it's something I don't do, but I did it. And I got taken out when it went that little 50% retracement,
Yeah.
and it just absolutely crashed after.
Uh,
Thankfully, people that follow strategy, I was happy to see many people won. Many people did very well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Got a lot of DMs, and I appreciate that 100%. Just trying to share knowledge, but yeah, me personally, I fumbled that bag.
How much did
But,
you lose on that trade?
so when I do so with FOMC and CPI, I go small. I want to be consistent, because even if you put $1,000 in or $500 in, you could possibly walk out with 2,000. Well, yeah, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. You don't
Sure.
know.
Yeah.
I mean, you could literally make 1,000 to 1,500% on this trade.
Wow.
So that adds up.
Yeah.
Listen, if you put 1,000 in and you make 1,000%, who
Dang.
cares if you made 1,000 to 10,000? If you put in 10,000, let's just say it went against you, you possibly lost 3 to 4,000. You never know. So for me, it's more so being safer in that terms. But so I put, I think, like 1,100 in, and I lost about 270 or 280.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's not
I
bad.
think I think you saying that goes as a great example for, any beginner trader who wants to get into trading. It's like, it's all about risk management, and, guys like you who are clearing multi six figures a year trading on small accounts, which is insane, making these huge percentage gains. You're not like risking the bank on, like, you're self-aware of like what type of trade you're getting into. And according on that, you're, sizing that position according.
Because I feel like someone could be so greedy in the
Exactly,
sense that, like, oh, these like this, I'm 20 for 20 or 19 for 19, and I'm just gonna go ahead and put 75% of my account on this.
Exactly. Like, what do you think the number one thing is that kills beginner traders?
Yeah, and I think it's really that consistent sizing. And kind of going into that, and intertwine it with revenge trading. So if I was to go back to where I was in the beginning, where we were talking about where I went from 800 to 52,000, if I had consistent sizing, if I was playing, much smarter back then, that account could have kept growing and growing and growing, rather than going 52,000 to 10,000. So stuff like that. And, kind of intertwines into revenge trading. So let's say you win on one play with 5 contracts. Next play, you go 10 contracts and you lose. You're most likely, down that previous profit. And now you're like, oh, I got to make that back and make back what I had before. So now you go 15 or 20 contracts, and, you're putting yourself in a bad way.
Yeah.
You're just adding on and on and on. And yeah, you may win. But if you continue to do it, you're most likely going to lose. And revenge trading is one of the worst things to do too. And I see people do it all day. If I lose a trade and there isn't any real trade for the rest of the day, I'm done. Listen, I don't care. I've learned my mistake on that.
Sure.
And I do it once every month, once every 2 months.
Yeah.
I know as it comes back, you're never going to be 100%.
Yeah.
But limiting that, learning patience, learning that proper risk management and consistent sizing is going to help you. It's going to give you a proper foundation to grow in the future.
Yeah.
And I think those are 2 to 3 real keys on building that foundation to become a successful trader.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
So do you want to walk us through your normal day? I'm curious, like between managing your properties, junk business, trading, what does your normal day look like?
Yeah. So managing the properties, I really don't do anything. If anything, I'm texting my property manager.
Yeah.
And that may be 2 to 3 times a week. Right now it's a little bit more because we're actually looking to acquire more properties. Trading, I'm usually up at 8:30. So an hour and a half or an hour before market. Always have my morning call at 9 a.m. on Twitter Spaces, also including my chat room.
Yep.
And then I'm trading, throughout the day, and going on and off of that. And then the junk business, kind of just we plan jobs accordingly. So we usually like to stack jobs in certain days. So, for example, yesterday I was busy. We had 4 to 5 jobs, and we just stacked it all in one day, get it done. To basically give us time to do other things throughout the week.
Sure.
With that said, we have more jobs lined up throughout the week. Like Thursday, we have more jobs lined up, and we kind of try to stack it, one day for that to be able to, in terms live our lives.
Yeah.
Do whatever we want, be free, work out, so on and so forth. And that's basically.
Yeah, I mean, you're hustling. I respect it so much. Like, what are some goals you have? Where's the end? Is there an end? Like, do you want to get a private jet? Do you want a Lambo? Like, I can't tell because you're very humble.
In all honesty, like, I don't need a lot. Like, I guess, I get you get to some point and you're just like, F it.
Mm-hmm.
But me personally, like, I don't need a lot. I just want to be, I don't know. I just want to be financially free. Want to be able to do whatever I want, go wherever I want, be able to be around friends, family, have my family be financially free. And that's basically it. I mean,
Okay.
I'm not really big into cars. It doesn't really bother me, or toys really.
Mm-hmm.
With that said, I actually always wanted a Tesla Model X, and I did get that.
Yeah. There you
But
go.
it took me 4 years to get that. So
Good for you.
I plan out things so I feel like I'm safe, and for me, everything's safety. That's always how I've been,
Yep.
money wise.
Yep.
Trust me, like, I spend, but I'm just saying, like, I'd rather have more income coming in to, provide for that. So I'm always looking to do real estate and grow in that regard. And, goals is to continue to grow that real estate business and, get that booming, because that's going to be one of the biggest things. I mean, it's cash flow that it just comes into your bank account.
Yeah.
Property manager tells me everything that needs to be done. I do it. And so on from there. Then obviously the assets just rise in, hopefully rise in value, throughout time. And go in that regard. And then trading, just do it.
Hey, what's your biggest day? Like, what's your biggest gain in a day trading?
My biggest gain?
Yeah.
I like that question, because that was the craziest day. It was on June 17th of 2019. So the year before COVID.
Okay, wow.
And June 17th is also my birthday. So it was a crazy ass day.
That's sick.
We were going out on my friend's boat because it was a very nice day.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, literally, it wasn't even before market was open. And this is when I was trading pennies a lot more than options.
Mm-hmm.
Now, basically, I only trade options and futures and spreads. And it was like 9:05, and like this news hit on the stock NES. I don't even know if it's still trading anymore. I really don't.
Okay.
But NES, and at the time, I saw the news, and it was kind of slowly creeping up, but the news was so good, and I just had to take it.
Yeah.
So I put in a decently large amount, usually larger than normal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that was my first 100K day that day.
Dang.
And my friends were going crazy. I was having like heart palpitations.
Dang. I bet.
I mean, like, it was just going so quick. Like, after I entered, it took about 10 minutes, but I was actually done right after the market was open at like 9:40, and I didn't even touch my phone the rest of the day. I just enjoyed my day.
So you made 100K in 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was more like 25, but I was out of that. I was holy shit.
What was the bet size?
Oh my God. Honestly, realistically, I probably put like 30,000 in.
Okay.
I remember it was definitely half of the gain. So, it's because the stock went up like 100 and like, no, it went from like $2 to like $7 in like 30 minutes.
Dang.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It went
Did
crazy.
it keep cranking throughout the day?
What?
Did it keep cranking after you got out?
Honestly, I don't remember. I think it actually started to fall a little bit.
At that point, you're like, all right, I just made
Yeah, I mean, at that
100K,
point, it's like,
No, yeah,
might
no,
as well
I-
just
I had
take
a
that-
good. It
take
was a
that
good
out.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
like I
kidding.
said, I shut my phone off. I didn't shut it off, but I put it to the side. I didn't trade the rest of the day. I was out.
Dang.
Screw that.
Hell yeah, man. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Amazing.
that was the greatest, trading day.
How old were
I
you?
would say ever. 24.
Sweet. Your buddies must have been psyched too.
Yeah, seriously. 24-year-old
Yeah, that's-
making. So how have
that
you
was crazy.
crossed $1 million in trading gains? Like
Oh,
roughly?
wait, sorry. Back then I was like 21, but
Yeah,
no.
I was gonna say.
My bad,
I
my
just
bad.
assumed you're 21 back then, making 100K in a day trading. You must be pushing the million. Have you crossed $1 million in trading gains?
Yeah, so I've crossed that. And property wise, I'm over $1 million, and I guess you could say net worth, property value wise. Again, like I
Okay.
said, they're all like 50 to 125,000. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Dang,
Okay, smaller properties.
mad
That's,
impressive.
that's awesome.
You're in the top 1% for 24-year-olds. I can say that. So.
Yeah.
that's not really what I'm going for, but
It's cool.
Listen,
No, good
It's
on
good.
you.
It's really it is going to be super motivating for people listening.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
very honest, like humble, genuine guy. So
Yeah.
I'm really glad we had you
I
on.
appreciate that.
This has been a great episode. I think we should wrap things up here because it's been a little over an hour. It's about average length of our podcast. You have any final tips for anyone looking to get into trading?
yeah. And it's not even trading. I'm just gonna, it's for everything.
Mhm.
And it happens, every day. Or possibly every day, I should say. Hopefully, not every day, but I'm just going to put it in my perspective and then, add on to it. If I quit where I was in the beginning of trading, and also when I had those downswings, even, after being in profit, but they were still large swings, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Yeah.
You got to push through the adversity, push through, the failure, and it's going to happen. Every loss, learn from it. Every win, learn from it. See what other people are doing, and take the bits of what you like and what has worked for them, and use it to your advantage. Make it your own, and really grow from it.
Yeah.
There's so many opportunities. There's so many things to learn from. I mean, you got YouTube, you got TikTok. Not everything is shaking their ass on TikTok.
yeah.
There's so much more to it. There's actually some good content on it.
There is.
For people that want to grow financially. So learn from everything you possibly can and grow from it. Seriously, use other people's knowledge and success. Take tidbits from it, make it your own, and use it to grow.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I like it.
I love it.
Don't give up. Don't give up. Because
Never give up. I say that every day. Never give up.
Never give up. I like it.
Awesome.
All
well,
right.
On that note, thank you guys for watching.
Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Daily Traders Podcast. Hey,
no,
we'll put your socials in the description.
Yeah, where can they find you?
I'm at Bull Trade Finder, BullTradeFinder on all platforms: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Stock Twits.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, guys, go give them a follow.
Awesome.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you so much. All right, guys. See ya.
Peace. Bye.